When the sugars in the wort had been converted to alcohol, the back fell spontaneously. The fermented liquid or ale was now ready for distillation. The ale, except for what was at the bottom of the barrels, was removed to the stillhouse, which was what the Poteen makers called the spot where distilling took place. Poteen was traditionally distilled out of doors on commonage. In that way, if the authorities arrived in the vicinity, the Poteen makers could flee without fear of prosecution. The still consisted of a 40-gallon copper pot, a wooden cap which was placed on top, the arum, made from copper, which was inserted between the cap and the arum pipe, which was fixed to the worm, a coil of copper tubing, which was placed inside a wooden vat. After the still had been assembled, all of the various joints were sealed with a paste called gluten. Gluten was made from oatmeal, flour and water, and on drying it helped to prevent any alcohol escaping from the cap, the arum or the worm. In some areas the cap was filled with water. This also helped prevent any alcohol from escaping during distillation. Alcohol evaporates at a lower temperature than water. As soon as the temperature of the ale, which was mostly water, reached the boiling point of alcohol, the alcohol began to evaporate, leaving the water behind. The alcohol vapours passed through the cap and arum into the worm, where it condensed due to the cold water in the vat. What emerged from the tail of the worm was called singling. Singling had to be distilled once more to produce doubling and ultimately Poteen. Occasionally a check was carried out to see if any alcohol was escaping from the still. On contact with the flame, the alcohol ignited, which revealed the location of a leak. More gluten was used to fix the problem. Only the driest turf was used in Poteen making. If the turf was damp, it would smoulder, and the plume of smoke rising into the sky would give away the location of the stillhouse. As the warm alcohol vapours condensed into singling in the worm, the water in the vat would heat up. When the water was too hot, it had to be replaced with some cold water. If this wasn't done, the rate at which the alcohol vapours condensed into singling would slow down and ultimately damage the Poteen. It would take about 4 hours to distill the singling from a full barrel of ale. Singling could continue as long as the liquid ignited when thrown on the fire, and this test was carried out regularly towards the end of a run. When the distillate failed to ignite, little or no alcohol was being distilled, and so the run was ended. The liquid which failed to ignite was called faints. If too much faints was allowed through, it would ultimately affect the quality and strength of the Poteen. A barrel of ale yielded 4 to 5 gallons of singling. The singling was safely stored away until the Poteen makers had finished with each barrel and were ready to begin the doubling. What was left in the pot was called burm beer and was given to cattle or taken as medicine.
Father Connolly and Nilskan speedio looked at Heggshagob. Nimaronish had the nai, will had the Poteen and Ashlegin home. Pastor the King's Hill. When you were on the heavy Brunawati, there we have got a wish to my Guinness. We wished them cast to be shire a wish them Poteen. I got Cheshagas. He did for all posting in the sparrow and a monkel. Michael in Bolivia, it's a deal of Fushkistin in the Sparrow. Don't tell Lemira for Tamagalamaha, you wish them to say, like Father Connolly, Maran with their for less. Made it as eagle to gear about Techtastagus gone through my bail of earth, but we said I'm all of us. Garagara. Why come she fit built in the Timoriaco? Agus I'm sure all that to the Sasha nach May. Ach, Machlesh, Agus shape along the more. We ain't a color on the bill, it still there. Michael Boylisha. Here's a sacristy, we father, and Tahara Conil, Father Connolly. Agus is on the Bisha towards Fuiston. Agus was a alone again. Kasula far who just I don't just I got bohal just to tell you on the Poteen. And by that they had just the arms and your Poteen in Rio. I guess a Russia stack level on the Poteen. Well, nicht schätzen, schön was der Kanalile. Well, schön in Irland. I guess Ach, maar rinne toe dat ze dol toe. Wat zijn redden her naar een ma. Ach. Ach, wilt u de fischen, tamari de fische, zo te geschool maar gelijk wisten nu, hoe dat is zo. Ach. Oh, wel maar tatoeëren de fische zelf hangen. No good day machines. She's less at an altitude. It's a chapel. In chapel long Ladina. Well, a pobble day just a town leaves the sacristy. Because Tamagal Sheeran, she just had to do from a near. Grim Golan near the Clampain at an altitude, and shag a wicked. The Gunier and the because you're having a Shahar say the Canal Hill is a chapel, gonna be Tits Magadi. There are Kahan Kinera, Michael Limbo. I guess I know near here, Shah, like you let 3 years. Shadan shall shaggy just a new. Now run you, because they're all and they're real when they heal. Well, near a honeycomb, pobble of Easter on that shelf. Well, he خلقوا الشيء رجالي. هيك دراسة شاس. هذا خني شيء Michael.